Are you ready for guidance, but you're not sure you're getting the memo? Your brain not clear about what is divine guidance versus fear, projection, anxiety, and drama? Well, that's normal. Welcome to my channel. I'm Sonia Choquette. Today I'm going to teach you how to receive your guide messages because they have turned up the volume and it is time to change your whole matrix. If you're new to my channel, welcome, welcome. I'm going to help you make your life a whole lot easier really fast if you're open to it. And if you're coming back, welcome back. We need to learn to speak spirit this week, and that's exactly what your guides want to teach you. So the first thing that comes through when you're working with your guides is that they don't speak your native language. I've said this before. I'm going to repeat it because we really have to get that. Guidance isn't going to come through with some big, clear message necessarily. It's going to be a lot more subtle. And the first thing, it's just going to be like a suggestion. One of the signatures of guidance versus your own ego or emotion, or fear for that matter, is that it's very direct and very simple, a couple of words. Don't eat that is a guidance coming from your spirit guides when you're about ready to bite into a steak. I have a client who is this wonderful guy in Texas, and he is just adorable, but keeps saying, I'm not getting any guidance. I'm not getting any guidance. And I challenged him. I said, really? How about when you sit down at the table? And he said, well, probably the only thing I'm getting is don't eat that steak, even though I'm ready to bite into it, but I just ignore that. Well, okay, that's a choice. Then he went to get his medical checkup for the year for work, and he found his cholesterol and blood pressure are off the charts, and he was in real trouble. So that don't eat that was clear guidance, but not interference. It was a suggestion, and that's how guidance works. It's just that it kept coming over and over again. Don't do that. That's how guidance works. Another guide, or another guide story, and it's how it's simple and direct, is a woman that I'm working with. She was on her way to go to a trip to Bolivia, and her guide said, change your intentions. Don't go right that, change your plans. Well, I'm ready to go. I'm on the trip. I'm going to go. Change the date. She said she got it even a little bit closer. Change the date. Well, I bought the ticket. I don't want to do that. And she was traveling solo, so it wasn't like she couldn't change the date. Change the date. Well, she didn't change the date. And she went on her trip. And it wasn't catastrophe, but it rained so much and so torrentially. She could not really go anywhere outside of her hotel room. Day after day, the entire trip was a swampy mess. If she would have waited another week or two, she could have had a beautiful trip. So you have to understand, guides are going to make suggestions, but they're not going to overwhelm you. They'll be a bit persistent. You can tell it's not guidance, and your angels are making this very clear to you. They don't talk a lot. They'll say the same thing in a few words, or, and this is far more important, you won't hear any words at all. You'll just get a feeling. And that feeling is an actual vibrational frequency. Now, one of the ways in which your guides are really screaming at you is turning up this repeating numbers. Because repeating numbers is more than just, hey, I'm here. Repeating numbers is you're connected. I'm talking to you. I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to get your attention. I'm trying to communicate, but you've got to be available. Now, the repeating numbers, fortunately, is definitely working. A lot of people are reporting week after week. What's up with the repeating numbers? Well, one of the things your guides want you to know is it's more than a message. It's a transmission. It is an energy trying to help you change your mindset, your habits, your behavior, your routines, so you can receive support. The other thing your angels and guides are saying is we'll often make suggestions that are going to advise to do something different than you normally do. Now, it's not absolute, but a lot right now, we're asking you to do something different. Now, one of my clients, who is a real night owl and has been struggling for probably a year or two, trying to connect with guides, trying to connect, trying to journal, trying to connect, trying to meditate. She went on a long walk and she just had a big conversation with her guides. All right, what's the message? And she got this overwhelming message, go to bed earlier. Now, okay, she smiled and thought, probably a good idea. I do stay up till 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning, and I have to be up at 6 to go to work. Go to bed earlier. She said it came many, many days in a row. Go to bed earlier. So finally, she agreed. She started going to bed at 9:30, 10. And passed out, but she started having prolific dreams. Once she was not overtired and could actually go to bed earlier, let her body unwind, she started getting deep, deep, deep guidance. And one of the things that she dreamt about that was really important was she dreamt about a spider bite. So what is this about? And I said, your guides will speak to you in symbols, and that's something else to know. The spider bite. I said, how did it leave you feeling? And she said, clearly a warning, clearly. I said, okay, well, you know what? It's not that difficult to decipher if you just don't immediately respond with, I don't know what that means. Respond with, I'm curious about what that means, and start playing around with it. So I said, if you did know, what would it mean? And she said, well, it's a warning. Well, I said, was anyone else in the dream? She said, yeah, a bunch of people I hang around with that I'm not really enjoying. I'm just spending time with them because they ask. And I said, well, what do you think the dream means? And she said it was a warning that I was wasting my time with those people and not getting on with some of the creative projects I know I'm here and meant to share. I'm wasting time. And the spider bite was like saying, look, you're making a decision that's hurting you. So we can get it. It's just, let's dive a little bit deeper. There's a great kids program called Blue's Clues. It's a detective show that's fun and saying, take this clue and then go to this clue and go to this clue. Look for that in guidance. Don't expect your guidance to be delivered like the pizza you just ordered, perfect to, exactly your specifications. Guides make suggestions in clues and images, which is why dreams are super important. Your subconscious mind dreams or operates in images. And so here's another thing your guides are trying to tell you is meet them halfway. Your guides want to help you, but it's up to you to decide where you want the changes. Don't leave it all in the unconscious realms. Take it a little bit into, I'll meet you halfway. One of the ways my guide suggested that I get new direction is go for a walk. And as I'm walking, imagine I'm walking toward the goals that my heart wants to create. I'm in the process of creating an incredible new training program to live at a higher frequency, be very dialed in, be very clearly guided. I am in the process and have been guided for some time on this, but my guides are saying, go for a walk and we're going to help you completely pull this training forward. I'll announce it to you in a couple of months. Actually, even maybe next month, but I am being channeled. I am being guided in the moment on how to teach people step by step by step in how to live as a multidimensional person, receiving guidance easily and manifesting easily. So you know how I'm getting it? Going for walks. walking toward my intention. If you're feeling a strong creation or a strong intention, first of all, don't be surprised. We just went through 2 eclipses. We went through a full moon. We're in a portal. We are in an opening on this planet in our consciousness to become the next version of ourselves. So of course you're going to get all this inspiration and all this guidance. Your job is to say, yes, help me. Not, how can I be sure? No, that's not right. I don't believe it. Or go ask a bunch of people who are going to tell you you're making it up. Guidance is coming through like a fire hose right now. How is it coming through to you? It's going to be short. It's going to be simple words. It's going to be felt frequency. Now, I have had people, I did a guided transmission on my birthday, October 8th, and a lot of people showed up to that and really got the vibe. It's a different way of receiving energy, but there were a couple that said, nope, not feeling a thing, not at all, and I know why. It's because you're in your head. This doesn't feel a thing. Guidance doesn't come here. What comes in the head and what your guides are trying to tell you is empty the head. Let empty be your new power position. Empty and available. Clear the noise, because the head is really about projecting your intentions. It's like a big movie screen using this chakra here to project the images, what you want. And here's how you do it. Empty the noise. Empty all the opinions. Empty the second guessing and yeah, but I'm afraid and what if. Blow it out. Just exhale it. Let it go. Even for a few minutes a day, just for the next 10 minutes, I'm not going to be, my guy says like chewing gum. Your brain chews on these ideas and around and around and around. I often call your ego, this is where your ego can be very busy. It's like a barking dog chewing a bone, on and on and on and on. Stop and let your exhale empty, and then see in your mind's eye a big movie screen, like going to a drive-in, huge movie screen. Turn your eyes up and slightly to the left, and on that screen, the right use of your head is to project the movie scene of what you'd love to experience. Just like you're watching for 5 minutes. Like, for example, I used to have this movie in my mind that I was in the south of France and driving in a car, and I had my biggest sunglasses and a scarf and my hair was blowing, and I'm looking at the Mediterranean Sea, and then the next thing you know, I moved to France. Wasn't the next thing, but eventually, and I've had many moments of that movie. So use your mind. Your guides are saying, use your mind not to torment yourself and traumatize yourself. Empty that garbage and use it as a movie screen and just create little scenes, just little 2-3 minute scenes where you project up and to the left. I would love that. I would love to be sitting at a job that made me so happy and felt so creative. That way you're connecting your heart to the projection, and then your body receives the guidance in how that's going to happen. Your guides are going to help you make that happen. So see the head, empty, clear, and make it happen. And then drop into your body and start following the guidance instead of arguing. And you know what? I know it's easy to argue because your logic brain's going, wait a minute, you're disrupting me. You're asking me to do something different. No way. That's too much work. I, for example, am right now being very much guided to move away from France, which I love, or at least not make it my primary home anymore, and move to the UK. I never planned on that. That wasn't anything that was in my ideas of what I wanted, but it's so clear. And I said, yes, I'm doing it. Now my ego is kicking and screaming. And so I am projecting up on my screen that I am having the most joyful experience. And I say to the universe, show me on my screen what I can experience that I'm not experiencing now. I get connections, I get support, but I get that this is where I will be able to be of service with my spirit guides and when I'm channeling to teach people how to be multidimensional, that this is the platform, this is the frequency where that will be made possible a lot easier. Okay, so here's how I handled that guidance. This seems awfully complicated for me. Could you please help me? Now, I fully expect that help to come. And what most people will do when they get guidance that throws them off and isn't what they planned, will argue. Now, I learned from my master teachers when I was very young, and I've had 2 master teachers. I learned from those master teachers. There's partners. They want to help. Quit arguing. Don't be difficult. How guideable are you? So I want you to put in the notes, because I know that we have a fire hose of guidance coming. Your guides are just nearly yelling at you these days with their repeating numbers and their repeating suggestions and those energetic feelings. What are you receiving? And are you arguing it? Are you saying, no, I can't? How does that make sense? I can't figure that out. How do I know that's true? See, all this noise up here fighting your guidance instead of dropping out and saying, okay, I'm going to focus on my vision and you're going to show me how. This shows the vision. The body is where you receive the guidance. Really from the back of your neck, through your throat, upper chest, the skin. Sometimes it just drops in like a beautiful golden rainbow of aha. But what it won't do is come in like a lot of conversation. Guides are direct and they mostly use frequency. So where are you getting guidance? Because your angels are helping, your spirit guides are helping, your master teachers, your higher self, your creator. Everybody's saying, hey, the party is not where your head is. It's over here. Let us help you. Which just brings me to my last point today. The guides are saying we're trying to help. Let us. A lot of you don't have that experience of being helped. So you're really guarded around the heart space, and you're sort of like, I got to do this by myself. So one of the last big messages is your guides want to help. Let them. Don't be so defensive. Be a little bit more open to what I'm receiving could make my life really nice. So I'm just suggesting right now, first write down what kind of guidance you're getting. And if you say nothing, I'm getting nothing, I challenge you. Maybe you're getting nothing in your head. Take a breath, go to your heart, ask yourself, what does my heart say or what does my gut say? Because that's where the guides are getting through. And am I listening or am I arguing? The guides are super frustrated with all the argument because change can be a bit unnerving and stressful. Don't let that be the case, okay? Let your guides help you. Simply consider for a very short period of time how dramatically different it would be if you said, yes, okay, I'm going to do something different and I'm going to expect you to help me. My teacher said early in life, expect good things. My mom said that every day. And you know what? At the end of the day, she would say, what good things happened to you today? That's the final way to receive guidance, is expect it and then acknowledge it at the end of the day. Write down the guidance you're getting, even if you are arguing with it. And just see what happens when you simply acknowledge it, because it's coming through loud and clear. It's just a bit different than what maybe you want to hear or what you've expected, or you don't know how to take it on, in which case you can say, give me more and help me. But don't be blocked. Be guideable. Thanks for tuning in. I send you all my love. See you next week.